Morning, everyone. My name is Chris Sigurdsson. I'm the chair of the Louis School Division Board of Trustees. It's a pleasure to welcome you all to Marion School this morning. Today is a day to celebrate and affirm our shared commitment to the well-being and success of our province's most precious asset, our children. In the Louis School Division, we believe that a child's ability to learn should never be limited by an empty stomach. When students have access to nutritious food, they are better equipped to focus, participate, and thrive in the classroom. We see the positive impact every day, students who are more engaged, attentive, and ready to learn. But for many families in our community, access to healthy food can be a challenge. This is why today's announcement is so important. This investment will help ensure that more students have access to nutritious meals and snacks throughout the school day, which is essential for both their academic success and overall well-being. It is a powerful reminder that when we come together to support our youth, we are investing in a brighter future for all. I'd like to express our sincere gratitude to the federal government for prioritizing the health and education of our young people. Today's announcement shows a true commitment to the future of our children and our community. It's now my great honor to introduce Deputy Minister Chrystia Freeland, who we have a family connection. It's nice to meet her. Please join me in giving her a warm welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, it's true. Chris and I are related by marriage, and it's actually very apropos of today's announcement because we are both related to two beautiful little Winnipeg girls, two little preschool girls growing up in this amazing city. And that gives us a personal connection to really caring about the children of this city, this province, and our country. And I could not agree more with Chris that for all of Canada, our children are our most precious people, our most precious resource, and it is truly a pleasure for me to be here today to talk about how working with the great province of Manitoba, we're doing something great for our kids. Alors, je veux commencer en reconnaître que c'est le territoire visé par le traité numéro 1, territoire traditionnel des Anishinaabe, des Cris, des Ojibwe, des Ojikri, des Dakota et des Dene, et patrie des Métis de la Rivière Rouge. I do want to recognize a few amazing colleagues who are here with me today. My friend, Minister Dan Vandal, and I'm going to steal his best line, okay, but he'll repeat it. He went to school here. He came to this school when he was 6 years old. And how beautiful is it that he's able to be here today as part of a government that is investing in the great kids here now. My colleague, Jenna Sudds, who works so hard for Canada's children every single day and works so hard on this deal. My wonderful caucus colleagues, Terry Duguid and Ben Carr. Ben, of course, former teacher and principal here in Winnipeg, so he actually knows more about this than any of us. It is great to be here with Tracy Schmidt. And above all, it is wonderful to be here with Manitoba's outstanding Premier, Wab Kinew. Really a pleasure to work with him and a pleasure to do things together for the people of Manitoba. I think he has some good lessons for the people of Canada. I want to start by saying a couple of things about the Canadian economy. We've been through a really tough time. You know, when COVID first hit, our country suffered the deepest recession since the Great Depression. Our economy shrank by 17%. And it's been really tough getting out of that. But in recent weeks, we've had some really good news. And what we've been seeing is there's light at the end of the tunnel. We really are approaching a soft landing for the Canadian economy after all the turbulence of the COVID recession and what followed. What kind of good news am I talking about? Well, first of all, inflation. That has been so painful for so many people in Manitoba, for so many people in Canada. But we had really great news, which is that inflation in September was 1.6%. That is in the lower end of the Bank of Canada's target range, below the central target of 2%. And for the past 9 months, inflation has been within the Bank of Canada's target range. Now, I know that is a real relief for people here. What that means is that interest rates are coming down too. And Canada was the first G7 country to lower interest rates for the first time. It was the first G7 country to lower interest rates for the second time, and the first G7 country to lower interest rates for the third time. And I know that is a real relief for a lot of Canadians, for a lot of Manitobans as well. Wages and employment are going up. We had some really strong jobs numbers in September. The Canadian economy added 47,000 new jobs, and unemployment actually went down a little bit. And for the past 20 months in a row, wages have been outpacing inflation. So all of these things are really, really important for Canadians, really important for families like the parents of the kids here, who want to be sure they can take care of their kids, feed their kids, pay their mortgage, pay their rent. What that economic progress means is that we as a country are able to make investments in our most precious resource, our kids. Et c'est pourquoi, dans le budget de 2024, on a annoncé le programme national pour la nourriture dans les écoles. Pour moi, c'est un des programmes clés de notre gouvernement. This really, the National School Food Program that we announced in the 2024 budget, truly is one of the things that is the most important investment that we can make in our kids, in our families. It's $1 billion over 5 years. It's going to mean 400,000 kids can get fed at school. 400,000 kids who are hungry in their classroom are going to be able to have a snack or some breakfast or some lunch. And that's going to make such a difference to them, such a difference to their teachers. It's going to save families. A family with 2 kids will save as much as $800 a year on groceries. So that's the program, but we can only do it. You know, I can put the money in the budget. It's hard to find the space, but this is important, so we did. But we can only deliver a program like the National School Food Program when we have provincial partners who share our values, who share our commitment to Canada's kids. And that's what we have here in Manitoba. And that is why I am just deeply thrilled to be able to announce today that we have a deal with the great province of Manitoba to invest in school food for Manitoba's kids. The federal government is investing $17.2 million over 3 years to expand school food programs in Manitoba. Your great province is putting money on the table too. The result is 19,080 more kids in Manitoba are going to get school meals. And Manitoba is, as usual, in a leadership position, as usual, I would say, with Premier Kinew, in a leadership position in our great country. Manitoba is just the second province to conclude a school food deal. And, you know, it's really meaningful for every single parent who has a kid and knows their kid's going to get a snack. For every single kid who's not going to be really hungry. And, you know, I have 3 kids. I know when my kids are hungry, especially when they were little, they were really grouchy monsters and not really good at learning. And we're going to be able to stop that. This is part of our government's absolute commitment to investing in families and to investing in children. It is absolutely a companion program to our national system of early learning and childcare. And here, Manitoba is also really playing a leadership role in the country. You guys are down to $10 a day. That is fantastic, and that is saving a family in Manitoba $2,610 per child per year, a real affordability measure. And of course, the Canada Child Benefit, where a family can get up to $7,787 per child per year, thanks to that benefit. So when you put all those programs together, this is a real investment in the most important people in our country, our kids. Au fin, je veux juste vraiment remercier le gouvernement du Manitoba et surtout le Premier ministre Kinew. Il est un partenaire excellent pour nous. Nous partageons les mêmes valeurs et pour cette raison, ce n'est pas toujours facile de travailler. Le travail est difficile, mais pour cette raison, c'est vraiment possible pour nous de travailler ensemble pour livrer la marchandise. And just before handing the mic over to him, to Premier Kinew, I really want to say what a great partner he is, what a great partner the province of Manitoba is. And, you know, he's a real inspiration for me and for a lot of Canadians. I remember the first time I met the Premier very shortly after your election. Was it like a day after? Yeah. And he said something to me that I repeat in many meetings, which is you need to have the horse of the economy pulling the cart of social support. That's a real kind of prairie progressive view of things. And I'm a prairie girl myself. And so it really resonated with me. And that's what I think, you know, good progressive governments need to be doing in Canada. We need to focus on the economy. We need our economy to grow. For sure we do. But that needs to be growth with a purpose. And our purpose needs to be to invest in Canadians. And there is no better investment and no more important investment than we can make than investing in our beautiful, amazing, precious children. That's what we're here to do and to celebrate today. Merci beaucoup. Et je passe la parole maintenant à mon ami, votre Premier ministre, Wab Kinew.
Alors, en tant que Premier ministre du Manitoba, je suis très content d'être ici à l'école Marion pour annoncer ces fonds pour livrer des repas à les élèves tout partout dans notre province, en partenariat avec le gouvernement du Canada. Mais aussi en tant qu'un ancien élève de l'ancienne division scolaire de Saint-Boniface, je suis très content d'être ici dans la division scolaire de Louis-Riel, parce que c'était une continuation une partie de mes études et en voyant les enfants aujourd'hui, c'était merveilleux d'être ici avec nos partenaires au niveau fédéral pour faire une annonce très positive. So I'm just so happy to be here with our partners in the federal government to do some good things for kids right here in Manitoba. We know that when a kid shows up to school hungry, it's a barrier to learning. We've heard this loud and clear from teachers and educators across the province. On the flip side, when you put a carton of milk, a banana, a piece of bannock in the hands of a young person, it can boost the mood, help the engagement with other kids, help the engagement with educators, and combined with ensuring that there's the right one-on-one time and classroom supports, unlock a doorway of potential. And yeah, the economic horse pulls the social cart. And what I would add to that is that the best economic plan we can have in Manitoba and Canada is a good education plan. And so here making this investment announcement, the announcement of an agreement alongside the federal government is good news for kids in Manitoba. But I also want to say that I hope that this is a sign to people in the province and across Canada that governments can work together. We can work together when we focus on what really matters, which is you, and delivering results for people like you who are working hard each and every day just to get by. And that's always been our focus in government. Today we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary. 1 year ago at 9:49 a.m., our team was sworn into government, and we've been focused on you ever since. bringing affordability through the cut to the gas tax, hiring 873 more frontline workers in the healthcare system, bringing school food programs into every school division across the province. And it means a lot that we're able to partner with the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister Sudds and MPs Vandal, Carr and Duguid and Minister Vandal to be able to do good things for you, the people of Manitoba. And for a lot of progressive people, people who share the values of the folks we're standing with here today, I want to say that this is not just an investment in what's happening in classrooms today. Like, absolutely, this is going to help kids this year. This is going to help the teacher who has to manage the classroom this year. Absolutely it is. But to me, what we're standing up here committing to working together on is one of the most consequential public policy interventions we have seen in recent Canadian history. Because when you think about the young children, and I've heard from the inner city educators already this school year who said, we have kids showing up this year who were not showing up before. And you start to extrapolate what is going to happen to our society, our economy, and our culture 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when we have more kids showing up for class each and every day, staying in school, reaching graduation. Those kids are going to be more successful. Their lifetime earnings are going to be higher. Their health outcomes are going to be better over the course of their lives. And you know what happens with the investment that we're announcing today? Everyone in Canada is better off for having healthier kids, achieving more over the course of their lifetimes. So if at the end of this, we're able to bend the social determinants of health into a positive direction and to boost the state of the Canadian and Manitoba economies over a generations long timeline, amazing. But if we do this investment together and we can say at the end of the school year, we fed some hungry kids, I think we'll all feel pretty good about that. Miigwech, merci. Thank you very much.
Beaumontin, good morning, everyone. That's a hard act to follow. Really great to be here. I believe I have the best job in Canada, although I think my colleagues behind me might argue they do as well. But I get to serve every day, not only as a member of Parliament, but as the Minister for Families, Children and Social Development. And let me tell you, the work that we have been able to do since Budget 2024 was announced in getting to today here in Manitoba is just such an honor and such critically important work, as the Premier has just so rightfully said. So it's an honor to be here with all of my colleagues and the Premier and ministers here today. And really, this is a moment to celebrate. I think this is a moment that we can reflect on the work that we've done to get here, but also to continue to do the work to ensure that we get all provinces and territories to be part of this national school food program. Last time I was here in Winnipeg, we visited a school. It was in May. And alongside some of my colleagues here, we got to deliver some food into classrooms and to speak with the teachers, to speak with the kids, just as we've done here this morning, and to see the impact, to see the smiles on these children's faces is just priceless. As we were started the day here and we were delivering food, there was one little girl, Olivia, who was full of life and was very excited about her carton of milk. And I don't know about you, but I'm a mom of 3, and there was not a lot of excitement at home when the milk came out. So I think it's just evident of the lessons that these children are learning as they have access to healthy, nutritious food at school amongst their peers. Of course, this is about nutrition and making sure that we're making these investments in kids, but it's also a learning as children have the opportunity to try different foods, to have access to healthy foods at school, and to share it with their friends. Food is social. And we got to see that firsthand this morning as these children enjoyed their food. So today would not be possible, as it was said, without incredible partners, and that partner being the Premier and his team here in Manitoba. As we are moving forward today, as it was shared, there will be 19,080 kids just this school year alone who didn't have access to food last school year that will this year. And that's just the first school year. So we've made an investment this year, $3.8 million, over 3 years, just over $17 million to ensure that this is a reality here in Manitoba. And as we move forward, working with other provinces and territories, this is a $1 billion commitment today in the future of these children, in their well-being now, but also in who they become as they grow and as they become adults and contribute to our communities and our society. So we've announced today, Manitoba, we, on the first day of school, had the pleasure of being in Newfoundland as well, announcing an agreement there and really seeing the impact firsthand in a small community in Newfoundland, what access to school food means for those children, those families, and those educators. As a mom, I have 3 daughters, and I can tell you, as they've gone through the school system, as I've seen their friends and the circumstances that they've been growing up in, this is impactful. This is an investment today with the vision and the foresight to know that today's investment will pay off, as the Premier has said, for decades to come. So lastly, I would close as well in sharing that I think all of us up here today feel very strongly and passionately about the importance of this investment in our youngest Canadians. But as I come to you from Ottawa and spend a lot of time in the House of Commons, I can share with you that the leader of the Conservative Party in Ottawa, Pierre Poilievre, refers to this as bureaucracy. Bureaucracy. We fed children this morning. We watched them eat the bannock, the bananas, enjoy the milk. This is not bureaucracy. These are essential investments in our youngest Canadians, and it's critical that we focus on doing this work together for the betterment of all Canadians. Thank you very much, and I will pass it over to my dear friend, Minister Vandal.
Thank you so much. Bon matin. Bienvenue à Saint-Boniface, tout le monde. I'm so happy that we are here in St. Boniface, and I'm really, this has been quite a week. I'm going down memory lane this morning because my family moved here in 1965, moved to Winnipeg from St. Jean Baptist in south of Manitoba, about an hour from here. And we got here the day before grade 1 started, and this was the school where I actually came to grade 1. I attended grade 1. And there's so many memories of course, learning to read and write, but learning how to play chess over there with Mr. Naida, who ran for city council at one point. And in this library, the field where we played soccer, so it's really an honor to stand here at Marion School. Nous savons que tous que le repas sain est plus qu'un simple assiette. C'est le fondement de l'apprentissage, de la croissance et de la réussite. Malheureusement, de nombreuses familles de notre province ont du mal à fournir des repas sains à leurs enfants. Ce programme vise à combler cette lacune en assurant que chaque enfant ne souffre pas de la faim et à ce que chaque enfant ait la possibilité de s'épanouir. Classrooms should be filled with students who have the energy and the focus to fully participate, where a balanced meal can really make the difference, can spark the creativity and enhance learning. It's not just a dream. We are making it happen. As I stand here in these precious halls where I learned and I grew, I can't help but reflect on the importance of community and the community supporting and shaping who we become as adults. I was fortunate to have access to healthy meals during my school year, and I know firsthand how it impacted on my education and how it impacted on my future opportunities. But not every child is as lucky as I was, and it is our responsibility, our collective responsibility, to ensure that every student, regardless of their background, has the same opportunity to succeed. So this is a program that's not just about food, it's a program about community. And as I met the young people this morning, grade 1, grade 2, I saw future leaders, thinkers, and innovators in our community. So let's give them the nourishment they need to reach our full potential. And I want to close by saying this, as the Deputy Prime Minister and the Prime Minister often say, confident countries invest in their citizens. And that's exactly what this is. We've invested in the school foods programs, $1 billion over X number of years, but we've also invested in the Canada Child Benefit, something that's taken 500,000 kids out of poverty. We've invested in the Canada Dental Benefit, something that's provided dental care to 40,000 Manitoba children. Now that's very real. We've invested in $10 a day daycare. Those are thousands of dollars of savings for Manitoba families and Canadian families. Confident countries invest in their citizens, and that's exactly what we are doing. Thank you for being here. Bienvenue. Merci. Miigwech.
Bon matin, tout le monde. Good morning. My name is Tracy Schmidt, and I am, it's my pleasure to be here this morning as the acting education minister for the province of Manitoba. I'm also, like my federal counterparts, a mother of 3, so I'm in good company. It is a pleasure to be here with all of our federal colleagues and my provincial colleagues, the Honourable Premier, and 2 of my colleagues, that both of whom, before they entered politics, spent their careers as teachers. We have the MLA for St. Boniface, Robert Loisel, and we have the MLA for Riel, Mike Moyes. So we are incredibly pleased this morning to announce that Manitoba has signed on to the National School Food Program with the Government of Canada, which will enhance Manitoba's universally accessible school nutrition program. Manitoba will receive $3.8 million for this school year and an additional $6.7 million in both 25-26 and 26-27 from the National School Food Program. This federal funding builds off our government's historic $30 million investment, which established our universally accessible school nutrition program so that no child has to learn on an empty stomach. With these funds from the federal government, Manitoba will be able to provide a more robust nutrition program in 37 schools with high socioeconomic need across our great province. We commend the federal government's recognition of the importance of school food programs to meet the needs of students in Manitoba and across the country. With this new federal program, Canada joins now every other G7 country, all of whom have national school food programs, and that's a great thing. We know that nutrition programs have impacts beyond access to nutritious meals. Nutrition programs help students learn, they help with their behavior, their attendance, and they strengthen our communities. Studies suggest that every dollar invested in a school food program provides $2 to $6 in health, social, and economic benefits, so it is an excellent investment. It's important for all levels of government to work with schools, families, community organizations, and Indigenous partners in a coordinated way to address child poverty and food insecurity in our communities, and I think that's what you're seeing here today. I finally want to thank and lift up the amazing staff here in Manitoba and across the country that helped deliver the nutrition program in the schools. We could not do it without them, and I just want to acknowledge their work. and really show our appreciation for that work. We are excited for the collaborative relationship and partnership that we've established with our federal partners during this historic year. With unprecedented levels of investment in school nutrition programs here in Manitoba. We know this investment will benefit all students and will secure a better future for the people of this amazing province. Thank you very much. Merci, miigwech. I'm not sure if Chris is closing us off here.
I believe so.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Such a wonderful morning. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Minister Schmidt, for your commitment to supporting students and families in Manitoba. Thank you all for attending today and for your continued support of initiatives that make a real difference in the lives of our students. Before we conclude, I'd like to let you know that the dignitaries will be available to answer media questions. After questions, we'll gather for a group photo. Merci tout le monde. Thank you again for being here. We look forward to seeing the positive impact that this program will have on Manitoba students in the future. Thank you.
It'll be one question, one follow-up. There's a microphone just there for journalists. Justin, just state your name and your outlet. Maintenant, la période de questions, c'est une question suivie, dire ton nom et votre question. Il y a un micro juste là pour les intéressés. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. Joseph Bernanke, CTV Winnipeg, Deputy Prime Minister, Freeland. Thank you for your time this morning. We saw 4 cabinet ministers announce they will not be seeking re-election. What does this convey to Canadians as the party continues to face some lagging polls?
Okay, I do want to start by saying something I should have said at the outset that Tracy reminded me needed to be said, and that is really to put the spotlight on the people who work in our amazing schools and do the amazing work to teach and feed our kids. So I do want to give a shout out to Alana, I think she's here, the principal. And we met Nancy and Jeremy, who make the food for the kids every day. And I was really touched by how much love and care goes into it, goes into the bannock, goes into the selection of jams. So it's really, no, it's like these are the people who take care of our kids every single day. And I just want to say, I recognize you. I thank you, Tracy. Thank you for showing us the way there. Okay, very serious and important question. Every single one of my colleagues who's made the very difficult and serious decision not to run again is a person I really respect and is a person I have worked with very closely. So it's a personal loss for me. These are really hardworking, dedicated, elected people who have given so much to work hard to serve their constituents and serve their Canadians. So, you know, Philomena, Carla, Marie-Claude, Dan, I just want to say, I'm sad. I'm going to miss you. Thank you so much for all your hard work and dedication. It's a really personal choice to put your hand up to work hard to serve Canadians. And I respect the decision of every single person who chooses to do that. And I respect the decision of every single person who makes the decision to retire and step back from public life. But each of those ministers has my very deep gratitude. One of them is here and talked to us about how meaningful it is for him to be here at this school. He went to grade 1 and maybe the school where he learned how to read. I don't know if Dan wants to add anything.
Sure. No. Your question is, what does it mean? I'll tell you what it means for me. It means that in 2025, it'll be 30 years since I represented St. Boniface St. Vital. It's been a fantastic time. It means that next year I turn 65, and I think that's a pretty good opportunity to actually do something, start another chapter in your life and do something else. It does not mean that I've lost confidence in our party or the Prime Minister. In fact, I'm very confident that the polls are going to tighten up as time goes on, and I think it would be foolish to vote against the Liberal Party.
If I,
In French, please. Just repeat the answers in French, please.
En français, s'il vous plaît.
M'essayer. Ça veut dire que, pour moi, en 2025, ça va faire 30 ans que je représente Saint-Boniface et Saint-Vital. Et c'était toujours une expérience positive. En 2025, m'a été 65 ans, qui est un bon temps pour tourner la page et commencer un autre chapitre dans ta vie. Le fait que je prends ma retraite n'a rien à faire avec mes pensées contre le Parti libéral ou Premier ministre. J'ai confiance dans le Premier ministre, 100%. J'ai confiance dans notre parti. Puis je garantis que, comme la date avance de l'élection, les sondages vont être plus serrés et moi, je ne gagerai pas contre le Parti libéral.
Avez-vous des gens dont vous pensez qu'il va remplacer Saint-Boniface? Avez-vous des noms?
Non, vraiment, je sais pas sur ça.
Et juste, si c'est possible, Madame Freeland, est-ce que vous
Ok, oui, oui.
pouvez dire en français aussi? Merci.
Oui, alors je vais commencer en remerciant les 4 collègues dans le cabinet qui ont pris la décision très difficile et très personnelle de ne pas s'offrir encore une fois. Alors Marie-Claude, Philomena, Carla et mon cher collègue Dan, un gros merci pour votre travail, pour votre collaboration et pour votre travail acharné, surtout pour les Canadiens et Canadiennes. J'apprécie énormément votre travail et je comprends que la décision de se présenter pour les élections, c'est une décision très personnelle, une décision qui implique nos familles et je suis triste pour être franche parce que ce sont 4 très formidables collègues, mais je respecte leurs décisions personnelles. Merci.
if I may ask a quick follow-up, CTV News is reporting a group of MPs will formally ask the Prime Minister to step down at next week's caucus meeting. In your view, Deputy Prime Minister, how serious is this threat to the Prime Minister's leadership? Have you had any conversations with these concerned MPs?
Thanks for the question. And let me just start by saying the Prime Minister has my full support as leader of our government, as leader of our party. The Prime Minister has been very clear that he intends to lead us into the next election, and he has my full support in doing that. I have a lot of respect for every single member of our caucus, and you have 5 of us here today. And am I right? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And you know, we spend a lot of time together. We spend a lot of time talking with each other. Canada is a parliamentary democracy, and that means that our government is formed based on our caucus. We are a government because we have the plurality of hard-working individual people who worked hard to get elected by their constituents, by their communities, and who represent them every single day. So in a very real way, our caucus is our government, and I take that very seriously, and I take the perspective and the ideas and the work and the contribution of each caucus member extremely seriously. Obviously, in our caucus, as in any caucus, there is going to be a wide range of views. I am absolutely confident that the vast majority of members of our caucus support the Prime Minister. Alors, en français, je voudrais commencer en disant que j'appuie le Premier ministre. J'appuie le Premier ministre en tant que Premier ministre, en tant que leader de notre parti. Le Premier ministre était très clair qu'il a l'intention d'être le leader de notre parti dans les prochaines élections. Et je vais lui appuyer dans les élections. Concernant notre caucus, le caucus est essentiel pour moi personnellement, pour le Premier ministre, pour chaque ministre du cabinet, et nous sommes tous les membres du caucus. Vous avez ici 5 députés libéraux, membres du caucus. Nous sommes un gouvernement grâce à notre caucus, grâce à un travail acharné de chaque député libéral. Alors, c'est très important de respecter le travail et le point de vue de chaque député libéral. Avant de dire cela, il y a une diversité des points de vue dans notre caucus, comme dans chaque caucus, mais je suis absolument confiante que la vaste majorité des députés appuient le Premier ministre.
Next question.
Ira Stick with Global News Winnipeg. If there's no leadership change to the federal Liberal Party, what policies is the party considering because sticking to the current plan doesn't seem to be resonating with Canadians?
Thank you for the question. And I'm going to say 2 things. First of all, these are challenging times for Canada and for Canadians. We are just at the end of a really traumatic experience, COVID and the COVID recession and everything that followed. We had COVID hit, we had a recession, 17% of GDP shrank. Then we had lockdowns, that was really hard. Then we reopened the economy and we had a shortage of everything. And then we had inflation. And then we had high interest rates. That was really, really hard, and it's still hard. And, that's why I started by talking about inflation and interest rates, because we are now at the point in that cycle where we're starting to get relief. Inflation now has been within the Bank of Canada's target range for 9 months, and it was 1.6% in September. We learned that this week. That is a crucial fact for every single Canadian. And interest rates have been coming down. They've come down now 3 times. So there is real relief already and more relief coming, and that is important for Canadians. Second thing I would say is, for me, for our government, we govern starting by listening to Canadians and being guided by our values. And if you want to know what is our government's plan, what does our government believe we need to do for Canada and Canadians, there is no better, single image, single picture than our announcement today. For me, I think for all of us, today is really at the heart of what we believe we need to do, which is to invest in Canadians, to support Canadians, to invest first and foremost in our most precious Canadians, the youngest Canadians, and to do that with an understanding that investing in Canadians is also an investment in our economy for today and in our economic future. In that, in that little lunch with some bannock, some jam, a banana, and a little carton of milk given to a 6-year-old for free at school, for me, that is at the heart of the work that we are doing and that we need to continue to do.
And a question for Minister Schmidt about the program. Today's announcement said 19,000. Oh.
No, she's a little taller than I am, as is everyone in the world.
We are feeding kids all across our great province. We are hearing from educators and school divisions about the impact that it is having already. We are so very excited and proud of this collaborative relationship and this agreement that we've been able to enter into with the federal government that will only enhance and grow that program. So perhaps I can follow up afterwards with those specific numbers. I apologize, I don't have those at my fingertips.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question. Question.
Oui, bonjour pour Monsieur le Premier ministre. Pardon, Monsieur le Premier ministre.
Ouais.
En janvier de cette année, vous avez annoncé un investissement de 30 millions de dollars pour un programme de nutrition.
Ouais.
Qu'est-ce que ces 17 millions du gouvernement fédéral vont changer?
Ça ajoute à ce qu'on était déjà en train de faire ici dans le Manitoba. C'est-à-dire que nous avons lancé un programme universel partout dans la province pour chaque division scolaire d'être capable de livrer des repas aux étudiants dans leur région. Et puis maintenant, avec ce partenariat avec le gouvernement fédéral, nous sommes maintenant en train d'ajouter plus de différentes qualités et différentes sortes de nourriture à ces mêmes élèves. Alors, ça nous donne une chance d'ajouter plus de ressources et plus de nourriture à ces élèves.
Est-ce que ça veut dire que déjà aujourd'hui, tous les élèves du Manitoba peuvent profiter de nourriture gratuite?
Oui.
Est-ce que vous pouvez reprendre juste...
C'est une question suivie.
Ok, pardon, merci.
Ouais.
Next question.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sorry, it's one question per person.
You said two questions per person,
One question per person, sorry, Bartley.
but we were doing 2 questions earlier, so it's only fair to continue that. We need.
Follow up, didn't you?
Pardon me?
He hasn't been to the mic yet.
I haven't at the mic yet. I haven't even.
Always go to the bat for Bart.
Yeah, I haven't.
Remember that.
All right. Yeah. All right. Okay. Sure. Whatever. Mr. Premier, in terms of this, adding some funding for next year, the year after that, what's the change of government proof plan here? If let's say there's a change of government, the next government doesn't have this specifically as a priority, what's the plan to top this up yourself? Not yourself, but your government self. I'm not selling that many books. But how many? How
I just went to bat for you with the media folks again.
No, but what is the change of government plan here for in the event that the Liberal government isn't around to follow through on the multi-year aspect of the commitment?
Well, first of all, I just want to give you a shout out for wearing the same jacket as me today. And if I am avoiding you after this, it's not anything personal. I just don't want the two of us wearing the same outfit to be on our social media feeds together. We're really happy to be able to announce this program. This is a multi-year commitment that's going to allow us to enhance this universal school food program here in Manitoba. And we have a priority here at the provincial level that we want this to be baked into the educational landscape here in Manitoba. You know, this is our 1-year anniversary as a provincial government. Creator willing, there'll be many more years to come with our team in government. But at some future date, if there is a change in the provincial government, I want it to be out of the question for the school food program to be cut. And that's why we need to understand that, yes, this is about feeding kids today and about improving the report cards this year, but it's also about bending the curve of so many of the priorities that Manitobans talk to us about each and every day. When they come and they say, we need a plan on downtown safety. We need a plan on homelessness. We need a plan on the economy. We need a plan to build the Manitoba of tomorrow. It starts with feeding kids so that they show up for school and they can achieve more. And so I guess how do we proof this against future governments is, one, everyone feels good about feeding hungry kids. 2, it makes so much sense as a long-term investment. And then 3, we dare a future government to try to take food away from kids.
Can I add something, Premier? Bartley, I'm not wearing the same outfit,
No.
but I want to add one thing. Okay, so, Premier, see, this is federal-provincial collaboration. Okay, I just want to add one thing. It's Bartley, right? So I get asked versions of that question a lot. I get asked them at press conferences, and I get asked in private meetings with people. Meetings with people who love $10 a day daycare. Meetings with people who love our national school food program. Meetings with people who love the CBC. Meetings with people who believe we need climate action, okay? And people say to me, what can we do? What can we do? How can we future-proof these programs? And you know what? The reality is you can't future-proof something with some kind of fancy political footwork, some kind of fancy legislation. The way Canadians get the programs that they like and believe in to continue to be in place is to vote for the people who believe in those programs. We have a democracy. There is a very easy way for every single Canadian who believes in school food for their kids and their neighbors' kids and their nieces' kids. And the way you do that is elect governments who believe in that program and will continue to fund it. There is no magic there. And we are a government who believes in it. In fact, we're the government that put it in place in the budget in the spring at a cost of $1 billion over 5 years. That's a lot of money, but we believe in it, we're doing it. And we also know that the Conservatives do not believe in it. In fact, you know, Jenna made a great point. She said the Conservatives actually, like, it's hard for me to believe they do this, right? That they are so open and overt about their views here. They have dismissed a national school food program as just bureaucracy, okay? Is it bureaucracy to give a kid a banana? Is what Nancy does, putting together these little snacks for the kids, is that bureaucracy? Is Jeremy baking bannock for this district bureaucracy? No, it isn't. We know that it's not. We believe in it. People who believe we're doing the right thing, you know, they need to not be mourning the future loss of something. They need to be working hard so that we don't lose it.
Just en français, s'il vous plaît.
Okay.
And that's not my second question.
OK, alors, merci pour la question, Bartley, parce que les gens me posent la même question dans les conférences de presse, dans les conversations privées. Et souvent, les gens me disent, comment est-ce qu'on peut avoir une garantie que ce programme excellent du gouvernement libéral peut continuer? Comment on peut avoir une politique d'assurance pour la nourriture dans les écoles, pour notre système national des garderies de petite enfance? Comment on peut protéger et préserver Radio-Canada? Les gens posent ces questions souvent. Et la réalité est que la réponse est très claire et très directe. Et c'est que si les Canadiens et Canadiennes veulent les programmes comme la nourriture dans les écoles, s'ils veulent les garderies de petits-enfants, s'ils veulent qu'on a Radio-Canada, il y a une seule possibilité. Il y a chacun de nous peut protéger ces programmes, peut les continuer. Et on peut le faire en appuyant les élus qui appuient ces programmes. Et on sait que c'est notre gouvernement fédéral libéral qui appuie ces programmes, qui ont créé ces programmes. D'autre côté, les conservateurs sont très, très clairs qu'ils sont contre ces programmes, qu'ils vont couper les repas à l'école, ils vont couper notre système de garderie de petits-enfants, ils vont couper Radio-Canada. C'est la réalité.
Thank you. And different topic for Premier, please.
Okay, I'm going to help him with this.
Okay.
I don't want it just to be the province doing all the work.
Mr. Premier, the tobacco companies have filed their settlements in court right now regarding the longstanding class action and the rest of the lawsuit. You can actually talk about this now because it's now public.
I beg to differ.
Okay, well, how is this going to? But it is. How will this settlement, multi-billion-dollar settlement, how much money will flow to the cancer care project that you spoke about, and when do you think that money could flow ballpark? I'm not sticking, you don't have to stick to a specific timeline, but how is that now going to work now? And are you pleased to see this come out in the courts now?
So let me start with all the disclaimers and, all that stuff that I have to do off the top, and then I'll get to the heart of your question. So, with this this filing and the details and, dollar values and stuff like that, it's something that I can't comment on the details of. And so, I wish I could answer in detail all the specific things, but I just have to respect what's going on with this specific filing and the process that is laid out there. But let me just recommit to the people of Manitoba. However this process plays out, at the end of the day, when the provincial government receives resources, we are going to ensure that everything goes to fighting cancer in this province. Every single person here was moved by the children because we all know the magic of having a young joy in your family. Tragically, one of the other universal experiences that we have is being touched by cancer. Every person in this room, every person, listening to these words has a story about the impacts of cancer in our lives. And because of that tremendous social cost, personal, emotional cost that we've all borne, our team does view it as a sacred responsibility to work to ensure that more Manitobans can hear those 4 magic words. You are cancer-free. One of the aspects of the provincial healthcare system that always gets high marks and, has a history of excellence is cancer care. And we want to ensure that the resources are there so that Manitobans can get the best-in-class cancer treatment right here at home. And that we can continue to build cancer care into an institution of excellence because, that's going to help us recruit and build stronger health care for everybody here, but most importantly because it's going to help more people who are on that marathon of a cancer journey. And if we can help that marathon that you're running be a little bit easier by having a nicer room for you to receive your treatments in, to have a more calming space, for your recovery, to have the staff have the proper equipment and facilities so that when they show up to walk you through the next steps on this marathon, then we're going to make those investments. Because this thing is something that's bigger than politics. It's bigger than a dollar value. This is something that's about the fight of our lives for many people. And I made a commitment on election night. If you decide to get out of bed one more day to fight cancer, our government is going to be there to make sure that you have the best cancer treatment in the world right here at home. And so this journey is going to continue. There's legal process and all other things that I can't talk about, but at the end of the day, we are going to make good on our word to Manitobans because that's what you deserve. When you step up to take the next step on your cancer journey, you deserve to have a government and a healthcare system and a Cancer Care Manitoba that are going to help you take one step towards good health and long life and being able to enjoy more time with your kids and grandkids and family and friends.
Steve. Thanks, Bart.
Everyone's helping everybody today. It's wonderful.
Steve Lambert from the Canadian Press. A question for the Premier. You recently had the ministerial expenses uploaded again. I know it's a system that you inherited from your predecessors. It only reveals the cost of the minister's expenses, not that of staff. At the federal level, in Saskatchewan, in Nova Scotia, in Alberta, and other provinces, the disclosure, the automatic disclosure is much more. People see the total cost of the trip, staff included. Is that something you'd be willing to look at to provide greater disclosure and transparency?
Yes, I would. Yeah, I'll look at that. And part of the reason why I'm giving you that answer today is you would assume coming into government that there is an automatic system for filing disclosures for ministers' offices and the like. And we were quite surprised to find out, no, in Manitoba, actually, there wasn't. It's ad hoc, and disclosures happened, I guess, basically when media requests came in, sort of thing. And so what we've done in response to that, and learning of this lack of a system, is we are systematizing things. We are standardizing things. And we are going to ensure that there's a regular, systematic approach towards delivering on these disclosures so that you, the people of Manitoba, have that transparency expectation met. And so I think you're raising a good point here, and we'll take that back and put that into the mix and have a discussion about what that would mean potentially and what's the art of the possible there.
Okay, and a very quick follow-up and an awkward segue to Ms. Freeland.
I don't have much to say about Manitoba.
Okay. You were asked earlier about the upcoming election and people who have decided to go. And I know you were asked several months ago and responded that you are running again. Just wanted to check in, quick update. Are you committed to running again in the next election?
100%.
That's it.
There you go.
The only education reporter in the province. One question, just one, please. I'm just wondering, either for the Deputy Prime Minister or Minister Sudds, if you can speak to the provincial nutrition program. There's a percentage breakdown. I'm wondering with this program, can you speak to the details here?
I'll be tall. So I think your question is relating to the investment that we're making today and what that breaks down to.
Is there a percentage difference versus the actual food and then investments for staffing as well as infrastructure?
Sure. So the agreement that we've announced today is an agreement that funds three aspects primarily. The largest majority, of course, is food, and that's why, we had the opportunity this morning to go to classrooms and provide food to kids and see the impact. But above and beyond, obviously, the needs of food, schools need to have the facilities in order to provide the food. So it does allow for investments in things like fridges, toasters, those facilities that schools need in order to run a program. You can appreciate not every school is set up as well as this one in having the facilities. And lastly, of course, in the staff. As far as what that breakdown will look like, those are decisions that will be made on the ground as the province moves forward in the agreements with the various school boards and implements. It's going to vary from place to place for very obvious reasons. Some schools are more progressed in how they can supply the food than other schools. So they have the flexibility to make those decisions.
Okay. And then a quick question for Ms. Freeland. Your colleague earlier had told the Globe and Mail that there was a huge failure on the part of police to search the landfill. Do you have any comment on that?
Yeah, I agree with Dan, very much.
Can you expand?
Usually journalists complain answers are too long. So look, let me just say, this is something that is very painful for the people of Manitoba, the people of Winnipeg, and we think the people of Winnipeg and Manitoba are right to see this as a real failure. And we really support Premier Kinew and the province in working to fix this.